welcome into your reading. This is a reading for the month of November 2024. So we're going to take a look at what your energy is for this month, what to anticipate, what to expect. Hopefully it can give you some insight and perspective. If you come across this video at any other time outside of November, hopefully you did for a reason and there is something in today's message that Spirit wants you to hear. And again, hopefully you gain some insight, perspective, truth, direction, validation, something like that. We will see. All right, Taurus, let's get started. Usually I pull the oracle cards ahead of time, but today I am going to pull them on screen. So I have no idea what is going to come up. I can say that in your energy so far, it feels really fun and upbeat. So hopefully you guys are having a really great time of year. Maybe you came out of October, seeing a lot of family, friends, all the festivities that were going on. Hopefully you guys are feeling really good and looking forward to holiday season here. On top of that, we are in fall season. Here in Texas, we've already seen some cold fronts come through. The weather's changing now, so finally we get some relief from that hot heat. So I am enjoying that for sure. All right, what is coming through for the Taurus for November 2024, please? Taurus. What is the oracle message for the Taurus group that I'm picking up on today? Who am I reading for today? Taurus, please. Okay. You have the number 26, relax the hold of darkness and be at cause. Wow. This one rarely comes out for me, and I use this deck often. There is something about maybe being gravitated to your shadow, okay? Being gravitated to maybe some lower vibes. Sometimes it's like we try our best to be high vibing, or we try our best to make the right choice and do what is ethical or, moral for us or whatever, right? Like sort of take the high road. But there are these moments where, our ego gets the best of us and we just want to maybe act out a little bit. And especially if you're dealing with somebody who acts that way, right? So maybe you are in a relationship with someone, or maybe you work really closely with someone who is always acting out or acting from a place of pride and ego, but you're always the one to take the high road. Sometimes I would imagine that it's like, you know what, F this. Like, if you could act this way, then I could act this way, right? Or maybe some of you are trying to make a statement and, show someone what it's like to behave the way they behave. I'm also feeling that as well. So there's a temptation here to come from the dark, shadowy sides of ourselves. And don't get me wrong, I am the shadow's number one fan. Like, I embrace my darkness, but I've learned to express it and transmute it in positive ways, in ways that can help me or help the situation, right? Because I do think that the darkness within us does instill some sort of confidence and power that, we can't really get when we are just staying in the light all the time, right? So I do get that there's a time and place for the dark side of ourselves to come out. And for some reason in November, this is a focus for you at this time. So if you are staying in the darkness, maybe some of you and have a grudge or are, staying indoors and don't want to come out, and maybe you have like a little stubborn streak coming through, and it's just like, no, I'm not going to do that or whatever, right? Knowing that if you were to release this hold, the situation would probably result in a better or more positive result, right? Or circumstance. So something to think about. I don't know if you're being a little stubborn at this time, but be at cause is like saying, be of service of in some way, so relax the hold of the dark and be at cause. There is something that is required of you. There's something that is needed of you. Look at the bigger picture. How can you help the situation? How can you help yourself? How can you help the other person by coming out of this darkness into the light and being of service in some way? I think that is a message here for you. So we're going to see what else comes through and how that relates. And, once we start pulling the tarot cards, we'll get some more information and some more details. But I want to pull one more oracle card. Something I'm also feeling intuitively here, something has found you. The light has found you. Like you've been caught. You've been identified. You've been like if somebody was searching for you, or the universe was searching for you, however it plays out in your individual circumstance, you've been caught. All right. So I don't know what that's about. But we will see. What else, please, for the Taurus? Or maybe you were trapped, Maybe it wasn't necessarily like you felt that you needed to stay in the dark. Maybe you were trapped in the dark. And it's like waiting for something or someone to come and help you out and get you out of this darkness. And I do think in November, somebody probably found you, was like, hey, what are you doing in there? Like, where have you been? Why have you been so quiet? Or, even if they are interacting with you, it's like, maybe you've been just really pessimistic, negative, dark. And it's like, enough already. Like, get out of this mood, get out of this energy, find something positive. There is something around that. And maybe you needed help to do that, Good. All right. Awesome. So there's prosperity. There's right place, right time. There's abundance. Just the feeling of being at the right place at the right time. Like, yes, like a what is it? Like a gift from the universe, or like an opportunity that lands and falls on your lap, or, something to take you out of this little dark, gloomy phase that you're going through. And it's just like a breadcrumb from the universe, like saying, here, Taurus, you want this, right? Like, come and get it. Come out of your hole, come out of the house, like, come get this thing. I know you want it, so it's maybe a little bait here to help you come out of it. At the same time, I mean, what's wrong with that? I don't think anything really is so bad about that, right? Especially if it's going to provide you with something good at the end here. So yeah, I mean, that's a good sign. But I mean, overall in this month of November, just, you're abundant. So if you wanted to start like a side hustle, or, maybe you wanted to take a little risk and see how, like, I don't know, putting yourself out there, putting your creative talents out there, or something like that will do. I think the universe has your back right now. Okay, so any way that you are making money, the universe is like, okay, let's do this. I will bless it. And maybe that'll be like a change maker for you in the future, right? Like it feels very like at its infancy level, like just starting out type of feeling. And so if you decide to take this risk for the sake of money or some type of fortune, you will see some rewards quickly, it feels like, okay? Not to say that it's always going to be like that, right? Like with anything, there's balance, and there may be times later down the road where it's going to feel a little different, but you may get like a boost, right? Like right from the get-go, something just starts to flow quickly, but long term, right down the line, there will be the need to really, really work and really hustle and put some effort into it, right? Just so if that were to happen, try your best not to get discouraged, because that's really easy to happen. You know, especially you start something and you get positive results and you think this is the thing, this is what I want to do, and it pumps you up. And then later down the road, you're not getting those same results. You get discouraged and you start to doubt, hesitate, second guess, and not give as much effort. So something to think about. It's going to take a lot of personal motivation, personal willpower to continue down the road during those challenging times. For whoever needed to hear that. All right, we're going to go into your personal energy, pull a couple tarot cards for your personal energy in November. Taurus, please. Taurus. It's coming through for the Taurus group that I'm reading for today. Eight of Swords and the Page of Swords. You feel stuck. You feel like you are in a situation where you just can't win. You know, like it's not easy. It's a little challenging. And I think you're trying to figure it out, which is good. There's some action that you're taking. There's, you want to make a change. You want to figure something out here. You don't want to be in this state of stagnation, feeling trapped, feeling like there's no way out. You know, you're not able to get the thing you want. It's just coming with a lot of darkness and a lot of like stormy type of obstacles or challenges here. And so again, as with all sword energy, this is coming from a mental perspective. All right. So in your reality, in your physical level, you're okay. But in November, it just feels like you will be in your head a lot, trying to figure out how to streamline a situation, how to get out of this feeling of being trapped, right? And this card here makes me feel like that, like you have been in the dark, or you may be feeling like that in November. And it's like you need to relax. You need to get out of your mind. You need to woo-saw your way out of this, right? Like meditate, clear the mind, release the thoughts, give it to God, give it to the universe. You know, there's no sense in overthinking here, because you're in this state of being for a reason. The pendulum will swing. You know, you will come out of this at some point. Things will fall into place. Things will take care of themselves. As long as you continue with the research and with the strategy, and for a like more productive level of thinking, you know, compared to a more fear-based mental blockage, right? Like you may be putting up some mental blockages, which are in turn showing themselves in your outer physical world. So you want to be careful with that, because everything coincides together, right? As within, so without. So this is saying to relax and just let go and accept and release and have faith and trust that things are going to turn out how they need to turn out. You know, so don't give up here, continue down the road, but loosen the reins a little bit. And if you're feeling unsatisfied, about a situation, then, you know, maybe that dissatisfaction is stemming from somewhere. So you want to pinpoint why you're feeling like that, and really get to the root of that, you know, while you are in this place of sort of being stuck, right, with the Eight of Swords, which is telling me that maybe there's no movement, nothing is really happening. It's a good time to really work on your mental state and your emotional state until the pendulum swings again and you start to gain momentum again. you'll be emotionally and mentally aligned, clear, ready to go, right? So anytime we are in a state of stagnation, the best thing to do there is release the tension, right? Like release the resistance and let it go, give it to the universe. And while you're in this state of stagnation, you work on your internal self because nothing is happening in the external at that time. So that is how you best make use of that time, if that makes sense. All right, we're going to look into your love life here. King of Pentacles. If any of you are interested in a more in-depth love reading, I will be doing those this month. I'll do a love reading for each sign. So stay tuned for those if that's what you're interested in. For now, we're just pulling a couple cards, just getting a general idea of what your relationship love life looks like and what to expect and anticipate. I know a lot of people like to know about that. Okay. So we have the King of Pentacles and the Three of Wands with the Eight of Wands at the bottom of the deck. I mean, this is great. You feel steady, you feel secure, you feel you are in a very high quality relationship. Okay, with the King of Pentacles, like there's quality here, there's value, there's something to protect here. Okay, there is a higher meaning, a higher status here in your relationship. If you're not in a relationship, then you are coming across this way as a catch, right? Someone of value, someone of high quality. Not just your normal random guy or girl, right? Like you have value here and there is substance. If you're in a relationship, same concept, there's substance in your relationship. But there's a lot of fire and passion and energy here. I am feeling playful for sure with the Three of Wands. Just a lot of connection and maybe being busy, right? Like there's something about you guys have been busy doing something, working on something, and now you're seeing the results flow through. I'm getting teamwork here with the Three of Wands as well. But yeah, I mean, there is a sense of waiting. I'm feeling waiting on something. What are you waiting on? Waiting on treasure? Waiting on some type of like fortune, maybe with the abundance card, it's playing a role here in your love life in some way. It's like someone is like, here, look what I have. Look what I have for us. This is going to help us. This is exactly what we need. Whether that's to bring us closer together or something like that. But I mean, overall, it's just working well together. Again, focusing on the important pieces of the relationship. I feel two people to be very serious about one another, right? Because the King of Pentacles is not the bullshit type. And working on building a strong bond and connection. And if it's not in your relationship and it's like the both of you working on building a life together, then that's what it means as well, right? Like focused on quality, better quality of life by being really enthusiastic, active, passion, taking initiation and working on things and, a lot of ideas. I'm getting DIY as well. Maybe some of you are working on your home, like building something. Maybe you bought a house and you're fixing it up together. There's a lot of value here that's going into your relationship. Okay, what's in the career and finances for November? Yeah, this Eight of Wands was at the bottom of the deck earlier. Well, this is very, very similar energy to your love energy. So yeah, for sure. I was picking up on the fact that you guys are working on building something together. So your career, your finances have something to do with your love life as well. Okay. Maybe some of you work together. If you're not in business and own a business, maybe you work at an establishment together. But again, same concept. When it comes to money, something is taking longer than you want it to. But that's because you had to really put in the work to create and build a good foundation. And then once that happens, then it's going to start to propel itself and it's going to start to go quickly. Okay. And you will see the movement come through, especially here with Fatima and the abundance card. So I think that this is really solid financial plan or really solid budgeting or something like that you're doing. But there's results coming in. There's rapid movement after a phase of stagnation. All right. So overall, with all these cards, that's what it feels like. Maybe you were in October, things were just steady, things were not really moving. There was a little impatience happening, all of these what ifs and thoughts of like, oh my God, like, is this going to work out or whatever happening? But at some point in November, you're going to start to see the movement here. All right. Let's get into more details. We're going to pull more cards. What does the Taurus need to know, anticipate? Who or what is coming their way? What circumstance, situation will they find themselves in, if any, in the month of November? So at the beginning of the month or whenever you hear this, this is where we're starting off with this reading here, this part of the reading. Okay. Ooh, beautiful. You have the 4 of Wands. So yeah, for sure. Home and family, celebration, coming together, union. Big on the mind at this time. The Strength card. The 5 of Swords. One more for the beginning of the month, please. Ooh. There's that Page of Swords again. I'm not going to take that. And the 9 of Pentacles. Hope it's straight. I mean, there's a lot of beauty here as far as like positive vibes and energy surrounding your home, surrounding yourself, your family, your loved ones. You're coming from a place of the heart, right? Like strong heart, big love, giving all of yourself to your life and creating and building this beautiful life that you're trying to build here. It's not easy, right? It feels like you need to have courage and be like a strong person in order to maintain this or to build this quality of life. Maybe that's how you feel. Like maybe you feel like you are doing it all on your own, or maybe, you know, if you're in a relationship, you and your partner have faced a lot of adversity or obstacles or something like that. But it's like, look at what we're doing. Look at what we're building. Yes, we've done a lot. We've gone through a lot, but look at the beautiful life that we're building, right? But at some point, the mind, that mental play starts rolling in the beginning. So it's like this simultaneous feeling of living a beautiful life and appreciating your life, but the back of your mind, there's something there. You know, there's this sense of doom and failure or hesitation, doubt, low confidence or lack of security, like all of the what if thoughts coming through, like what if that doesn't work out? What if, you know, we can't sustain this way of life forever? Like, what do we do then, right? So there's that happening, but I don't feel as though you are really voicing it too much. I think you're trying to be strong. You're trying to be strong. And you're trying to focus on the good and the positive things in life. And then you have the Nine of Pentacles. Like, this is one of the best cards in the entire deck. You're good. You know, you're established. You're doing something. For some of you, you are, what is this? Like a self-starter, I'm feeling, or like doing something on your own, making money on your own in some way, building something that like you can say to yourself, like, I've done this by myself. I do this on my own. I am my own boss or my own, I don't know, product or something like that. But it's steady income. You just have to be careful with those, the mind, and, you know, how the negative can just start happening out of nowhere based off of a mental belief or a mind shift, right? You can start off the month and be really good and feel really awesome. But at some point, it's like one day you wake up and maybe you had a bad dream, or you're in a little mood, or something feels off. And then you start to like overthink it. And one thought goes into the next, into the next, into the next. And next thing you know, you're sabotaging all of the beauty in your life. There's that Eight of Wands again. Something is happening super fast this month for you. Change is happening really fast. In the middle of the month, you're going to see this start to play through. You already know. You have a feeling, you have a hunch, you know how this thing is going to play out. You have already foreseen something here. So if you know already, then get started on preparing yourself for this change, right? Like, if you already know it's coming, start now. Don't just dwell on the what ifs, right? Yes, you want to maintain your high quality of life, knowing that change is coming and it's going to come quicker than you think. So if you're taking this seriously, don't just scare yourself, right? You feel that it's coming through here with the High Priestess. You know it's happening. You know this change is happening. Something is ending so something can begin. So prepare yourself for it. So that way, when you experience it, you're prepared, and it's not as bad of a situation as it could be if you just procrastinated and didn't do anything to be ready for it. It's not easy. I get it. You know, the fear, the uncertainty takes over. But when you're in it, usually it's not as bad as you thought, for one. And two, the more prepared you are, the better the experience will be, the better the outcome will be as well. This is a big time for you, okay? Like, whoever I'm reading for, especially in the middle of the month, it's big, big energy. You have 3 face cards in a row. Death, High Priestess, and the Hanged Man. There's a spiritual shift as well here. There's a spiritual, energetic belief system that is also changing, dying, and recreating itself. And it could be for the good. You know, for some of you, this means that you're actually finding God. Like, you're actually going towards spirit and praying. I'm feeling that somebody is feeling so good about their life that they have been through trauma. They have been through loss. They have been down at the bottom, but right now they're in a really good spot, and they know what the universe and what life is capable of. They never want to experience that feeling again. And so sometimes your trauma will kick in. You're living an amazing, beautiful life, but you remember when you were at rock bottom. You remember when you lost everything. You remember when you were heartbroken or whatever. And so sometimes our mind plays tricks on us and thinks that that's going to happen again. And we start to remember these moments, and we get our whole vibe, our whole energy changes. So for some of you, the reason why I'm saying that is because I think that this Oracle card has to do with, you can see the light now because you're living an awesome life and you don't want to lose it. And so your belief system on life itself and on spirit and God, like, is changing, right? Like, you want to get closer to spirit. You want to get closer to the light. You want to live a more high quality, high frequency, high vibing life because you've already experienced how that feels to live. And so you're starting to pray and you're starting to work on habits and behaviors and routines or things like that, like mental shifts and belief systems on spirituality. And maybe some of you have actually like connected with a certain religion or something like that. But that does feel very spiritual here with all of these cards together. And the fact that you are seeing things differently here with the Hanged Man. You're seeing life differently. You're connecting with your higher self and spirit and God and the goddess, the mother, the divine feminine, whether you're a male or a female, right? Like this all loving, all nurturing type of energy here. You're transforming. You are being reborn. And it's happening quickly. For others of you, this is an actual thing, like a experience that you're going to go through in November that you already see coming. You're already a little uncertain and scared of it. Hold on, I'm getting something here. Why are some of you going to sabotage the life you have? You have such a beautiful life and there's darkness coming through here. What is that about? Where is that coming from? Like, you're fighting yourself here, fighting the light and the dark, fighting your low level behaviors, your toxic self. Some of you are trying to not be toxic. No offense. And you're trying with all of your courage and heart and strength here with the strength card to stay high vibing and have come from a good heart, a good place. Take the high road. You don't need revenge. You don't need to get back at anybody. You don't need to see anybody, get what they deserve, right? Like, you're not karma. You're not judgment, or you're not God, we all face karma, right? Like, no one gets away from that. I don't care who you are. You don't get away from that. And it's none of our jobs or responsibility to be a catalyst to that karma purposely. If we are meant to be a catalyst to someone's karma, because that is part of our purpose in life in that moment in time, right? Like, we don't necessarily know that, but some of us, that happens. And that just is, right? The universe used us as a catalyst to somebody else's karma, but that wasn't our decision. Here with the Five of Swords, I'm getting somebody is like wanting to make that decision themselves. Like, I will get back at them and give them what they deserve. That is only going to ruin the great life that you have built. Some of you, I'm also feeling, and this is no judgment, guys, like I used to be a really bad person. So I've come a long way. But some of you are, what is this? Like, because you have lived, you're living such a good life, it's like you want to rub it in someone's face or be really like egotistical, prideful, like, look where I am now, look at what I have now. Look at what I'm doing now. Like, that's unnecessary. And I'm so sorry. I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way. It's not like that. Sometimes when I'm getting this energy, it comes out in these ways. And I know that my tone and how I communicate it is not the most, it's not like the best, right? But I just don't want anybody to feel like I've hit a nerve or whatever, right? This could be somebody else. This could be somebody else in your life doing this, you know? Maybe you are living such a good life that there's somebody else here that's in the dark that wants to mess with it and sabotage it. So you want to be careful with that. And if that is the case, once again, you know, you see this coming. There's something that you've already foreseen here. That is a strong feeling. So whatever that is, don't second guess it. If you know what I'm talking about, then that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's the thing. Don't sleep on that. If you need to do something about that, do something about it. 8 of Pentacles at the end of the month. Work is involved. Working on something really diligently. Nine of Wands. Protecting something, having boundaries. Protecting what you're working on. Ooh. The Tower. Somebody has standards as it relates to a job or what they're doing for a living, how they're making their money. Somebody here is like, you know what? I cannot do this. Like, it's not who I am anymore. It doesn't align with my values and, you know, what I'm passionate about. It doesn't make me feel good. Like, there's something about how you make your money or where you work. And it's just like you're putting your foot down and you're done. You know, it's like, I can't do this anymore. This is not who I am. I don't feel connected to this. I don't feel aligned with this place of work, with this type of job, something like that. So yeah, I mean, there's also a breakdown here at the end of the month. I think it all starts like with the fact that you have tasted the light. You've tasted high vibe way of living. You've tasted a good quality type of life. And once you have lived that, you can never go back to old ways of living. Once you have ascended, whether that be on a physical level, right? Like money or status or something like that, or that could be like spiritually, and you have awakened at some point, you can never go back to how things were before, how you were before. It's just not the same. And you have been changing based off of the readings that I've been doing. I can sense that, right? Like, we talk about this, you know, change that you're making and coming out of your own way and sort of being open to that. And maybe you've already changed, right? And now it's just a matter of, what is it, like settling in. And when you settle into the new thing, other things have to go. Things have to, that you're not aligned with anymore, have to go. And that's perfectly fine. And maybe some people don't like that, you know, but you're staying true to you. You're staying true to, you know, your higher self, your purpose, what you value, what you love here, you know, the vision that you have for yourself, who you want to be, what type of life you want to create. Things are happening quick. Boundaries are coming up. You're breaking things down. You're transforming. It's like one thing, like a rolling ball or something, you know? Everything's different. Nothing is the same. Everything's different. And by the end of November, Page of Wands comes through and it's just like, like, yes, like everything's out of the way. These people are dealt with. This situation is dealt with. Like you have a clean slate, you know, the canvas is white, like ready to be painted on, ready to be created, something to be created there, right? With the Page of Wands, creation, the start of something that you are really excited, enthusiastic about. And the sky is the limit here. Like, there's so many possibilities that you can go with this. So it's a really good reading. It's a heavy month though. You know, it may not feel so great while you're in it, but as long as you stay true to yourself, true to the process, you're aware that you're changing, you know, nothing is the same. Nothing is the same for you anymore. So you're at that stage, right? You can never go back. Life will never be how it used to be. Okay, now what? I understand that. I accept that. Now let's get a move on, right? Let's move forward. So we'll see how you do when we come back and check in on December and how that looks. I wish you all of the luck and positive outcome and blessings and abundance going your way, Taurus. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful month of November. Let's see who we're going to read for next. Speaking of death. So we have Scorpio next. So if you have any Scorpio placements, look out for that reading. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. Like this video, guys. If you got anything out of it, you got this far, you took it seriously, I would really appreciate it. That does help the channel out a lot. And otherwise, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.